Around the world, we keep hearing governments talking more and more about how they can reduce CO2 emissions. And we're also seeing at the same time entrepreneurs continuing to step up with all kinds of creative ways to reduce emissions by either reducing them in the first place or taking CO2 and creating all kinds of interesting products with them. Today, I'm excited to chat with two entrepreneurs who are running companies that are making some very cool things with captured carbon dioxide. Ryan Shearman is the CEO of Aether Diamonds, Inc., and Grant Smith is the CEO of Pond Technologies in Markham, Ontario. Thank you both for joining me today. Grant, why don't we start with you, and just wonder if you could give us just a brief explanation of what it is that you're doing at Pond Technologies.
Certainly. Well, thank you for having me. The technology really is a carbon capture. We're CCU, so it's carbon capture utilization. As we take CO2 from emitters and we funnel that CO2, we literally put a hole in their stack. And at source, we will funnel the CO2 into large tanks filled with water. And we have a unique patented LED lighting system that grows algae. So algae really consumes the carbon in the CO2. So really, we've created a photosynthetic growth chamber where we hold the carbon in the algae, we release the O2, and we grow algae and we dry that into many useful products that can feed humans and can feed animals and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of value in the algae.
It's very fascinating what you guys are doing there. I had the chance to meet you in person there recently and see your operation. It's just amazing what you've been able to come up with. Can you tell us just maybe a couple examples of the things that you're producing from this algae that is essentially eating the CO2?
Certainly. Well, there's many types of algae. You may think of algae as that green sort of algae that's in your swimming pool. And that's, in essence, what we're growing. There's many different strains. And algae contains 66% protein, a lot of omega-3 fatty acids and vitamins and minerals. So when you're feeding algae to, say, farmed salmon, rather than feeding them corn and soy, salmon are predators. So they're getting the oil and protein that they need from the algae in their diet. So there's an example. We've done some work with many other animals. And more recently, we've done a lot of work with food companies. And food companies are worried about their carbon footprint. They're worried about marketing, saying that they're clean and green. So we're part of that solution. We could tap into someone's stack, take their CO2, grow a clean algae that's high in protein. And it's very consistent, it's clean, it's sustainable, and it's green. And that can find its way into pasta and other vegan protein like Beyond Meat, companies like that. They all require sources of that clean, green, sustainable protein. And that's really where algae fits.
I want to ask you about one of the favorite products that you guys are making in a moment. But Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about Aether Diamonds? I mean, I think your name gives it away, what you're making with CO2. Tell us how it works.
Yeah, so I mean, it starts with direct air capture. So we're not developing our own carbon capture technologies. However, we are working with some of the world's leading providers. So we come in, and once that carbon's been captured, you need to do something with it, right? Anything to avoid having that CO2 return to the atmosphere. So this is where we come in as a utilization play. We take that CO2, we put it through our proprietary methanation process. So we combine it with green hydrogen to create what we call our atmospheric methane. And that atmospheric methane serves as the feedstock for growing diamonds in a chemical vapor deposition process that happens further downstream. Carbon has a number of solid forms in nature, and diamond is one of them. So that's the first product that we've brought to market, and we're focusing on gem grade diamonds for jewelry.
Wow. And so when you look at the diamonds that you're able to create right now, what would those be used for? You say because you're working to be able to create them for gem grade, but what are the current ones used for?
So gem grade is today. That is what we're currently offering in the market.
Oh, okay.
There are other solid forms of carbon outside of crystalline format. So crystalline would be, something like this, a beautiful gem grade diamond, but graphite, graphene, carbon black, or other solid forms of carbon that are on our roadmap. Those are to come in the coming years. Right now, for diamonds in particular, you have really gem grade, jewelry grade diamonds at the top of the list. And then, as we continue to scale manufacturing, industrial use cases are pretty interesting as well.